welcome back to In the Bucket Seat, guys. So today we have actually no, let me not go straight into that, hold on. So right back to me being prepared and now I'm like, what am I doing? Okay, so for those of you that are watching In the Bucket Seat for the first time, it is a Instagram series live, still don't really know what I'm calling it, Instagram live series. We'll roll with that. Where I interview all of your favourite car scene people and we get them on here and we ask them a ton of questions. We have a viewer Q&A at the end. So like I said before, if you haven't already, pop a question in the Q&A box at the bottom. And yeah, I think we're just going to go straight in today. I'm going to try and see if I can time this correctly. I'm going to try and do it before I say it. So I'm going to do it now. I'm going to press the button. Today, our special guest is Georgie, aka Georgie Does Life. No, still hasn't timed it right. Yes, we've got it. Hi.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm alright.
I feel like this is a little bit low. Let me just up this a little bit. Hold on. I tried to see if I could time it right, but it never seems to work. Like if I try it early, it doesn't work. If I try it late, it doesn't work. So you pop in whenever.
Okay.
So I'll give it a minute or two for everyone to join in. Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm very well. I'm scared, but I'm well.
Oh, don't be scared. It's like a really chill vibe. Like I used to get really nervous when I first started these things, and I think the more that I do it, the more it gets easier. But you'll ease into it. Trust me. Do not panic. It's all good. It's all good vibes. Okay. I think I pinned the thing. Yeah, I did pin the thing. Okay. So, for those of you that are only just joining, welcome to In the Bucket Seat. So it's basically a podcast / Instagram series where I interview all of your favorite car people. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna get straight into it rather than like ramble on, because I feel like I ramble a lot at the beginning of these things, so I'm just gonna go straight into it. Okay, so we'll keep it simple with the first question. So what is your name?
My name's Georgina, but I suppose everybody knows me as Georgie.
Okay, so we're sticking with Georgie.
Yeah, Georgie, I suppose, yeah.
Okay, cool. So how old are you?
I'm 27.
Okay. Where are you from?
I live in Hampshire, like pretty close to Portsmouth.
Oh, okay. You couldn't actually tell that from your accent.
Could you not?
No, I don't think so. It wouldn't have screamed out to me like Portsmouth way.
Oh. Yeah.
So have you always lived there or did you move out there?
I've always lived in Hampshire, but I moved like further towards Portsmouth like 3 years ago. So
okay, so where do you prefer it, before or when you moved towards Portsmouth?
I mean, down south's pretty much all the same. So
oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. They're all right. I lived in two little towns, so yeah, they're pretty much the same.
Yeah, I get that. I'm quite small town myself, so I get what it's like for the whole small town thing. Okay, so what do you do for a living?
I run a domestic cleaning company.
Do you? I like that.
Yeah, it's cool.
Is that something you've done for a long time, or?
No, I literally started it like 2 months ago. I used to do marketing before that, like social media marketing, and I did that for years, but I just fancy the change.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. Okay, so let's dive into the car side of it now. So what cars do you currently own?
Okay, well, I've got the Mark 1 RS and the Lupo. We've got half a Golf. and we got the Mercus, the Daily. So they're the cars we got.
Okay, so 4 as it sounds.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you had to pick out of all of them, which one is your favourite?
I suppose at the moment it's the RS, but the Lupo's gonna be my favourite.
Once you finish with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So in terms of, okay, so let's do both, considering like you've sort of got two favourites. So what is your favourite thing about the RS? If you had to pick any.
Yeah, well, how it drives. It's a proper driver's car. Like, it's really raw and just a proper car to drive.
Okay. And what about the Lupo?
Well, the Lupo is going to be ridiculous and the engine swapped, and it's going to be super wide bodied, so it's just going to look ridiculous, and it's just going to be great fun.
So if you had to pick one thing that was your favourite from the Lupo, what would it be?
Probably the engine swap.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is your least favourite thing about the RS?
Good question. Yeah, the least favorite thing is how it's mapped. It's mapped really like top end, so the
Right.
boost comes in like really suddenly, just like after kind of like 3,000. I wish it was more progressive. I do hate that.
Okay, and the Lupo?
Um, wow, I don't know. I don't hate anything about that car. I genuinely think I'm in love with that car.
It is a really sick build, to be fair. It's very unique. I like it.
Even before we started building it, as soon as I sat in it, I just had like an epiphany, and I was like, oh my goodness, I think I've had the wrong badge my entire life. I should have been a VW person.
I love it. Okay, so I think we've covered that one anyway. Okay, so next modification for the RS.
I think it'll probably be another wrap.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't gonna be, but I think it will be. To everyone's disgust, I think I'm wrapping it.
Do you know what you're going for the wrap yet?
Kind of. It's gonna be another silly wrap, and again, it'll probably be absolutely hated, but
As
yeah,
long as you
it's
like it.
ridiculous. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so what made you go for the whole paint splash thing, like the first time around?
Well, yeah, so this is a really long story. I did art in GCSE,
Yeah.
and I absolutely hated art. I didn't want to be there. Like, I just was given the option, like, when you pick your options to do.
Mm-hmm.
It was like one I was given. I'm not artistic at all. And I was like, how am I going to do GCSE art? Right? So I liked cars. So for my final piece, I literally like outlined a camper van and then just threw paint at it. And I was like, perfect, done.
Oh, the
um, yeah, and then it was on a massive canvas, and my mum had it in her. My mum's a hairdresser, and she put it in her salon, and everyone really liked it, and it was pretty cool. And I was always like, I really like this. Like maybe I could make something of this in real life. And then yeah, I just ended up messaging loads of rap companies, and at the beginning everyone was like, no, we couldn't do that. Like that's ridiculous. And then I found a couple that said yes, and then I did it.
I love that. That's such like a good backstory to have behind me. You wouldn't think of that at all.
Yeah.
How did they end up doing it? Did they get like a printable wrap and then print it on it?
Yeah, so it was a custom print wrap. So it's literally like a massive printer. They just print onto the wrap. So I got it all. I gave them my idea, and then the design team kind of came up with the final design. We went through so many designs because I was so picky. Like I like bright colors, and they were putting reds in there and like dark blues, and I was like, no, I want like really bright and vibrant. So in the end, we came up with the design and printed it, and then there was no going back because once it's printed,
Yeah.
yeah.
You can't change it. But no, I do like it. I liked it a lot. So I guess in terms of the wrap, why did you take it off?
Yeah, so it's pretty sad. I was never going to take the wrap off. Like we were obviously going to keep it because in terms of timescale, I only literally had the wrap on for like a year.
Okay.
But I needed my seals and arches cut out and new ones re-welding in because it's an old school Ford, right? So they rot. So the wrap was on, but the initial idea was that they just take a little piece of the wrap off, do the arches and the seals, and then respray those bits, and then I'd get the patches rewrapped. But when it went to the body shop, they said, like, we're going to have to take these entire side panels off, and then we're going to have to respray these entire side panels. Like, you might as well just take the middle of the wrap off too and get a whole respray done. So I was like, okay. So, yeah.
That's gutting, but it kind of has to be done sometimes. Okay, so how many cars have you had before this one, or these lot, I should say?
Enough. I've not had a great history of cars. I've literally crashed every car I've had, and I know
No
everyone's
way.
going to be like, oh, a girl, but actually it's never been my fault. I've always been crashed into. It's been a nightmare.
Oh, what a
Um,
nightmare.
yeah, so my first car was written off by lorry after 3 months. Um, so I've had Fiesta, Peugeot, Fiesta, and then RS, and then Lupo, and oh no, we had another Peugeot, we had a Corsa. Yeah, I think that was it.
I can't believe like every car has been written off.
Yeah,
Someone's literally handed you
every,
the worst luck with cars.
yeah, and so I had three Fiestas, and they were all written off, literally to the day. Like it was always the 26th of like November or something. All of
No
them got written off
way.
that day. Yeah,
That's
like not
crazy.
joking.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Jesus, okay, well, I wasn't expecting that.
I know. So the first Fiesta was written off by a lorry. Second Fiesta, I was rear-ended when I was waiting to I was waiting at a roundabout. Some guy just smashed into the back of me, didn't stop. Third Fiesta was like written off by somebody reversing into me, and I also hit two deers in that Fiesta as well. Yeah, nightmare.
That was it. Okay, so when did you pass your driving test?
Uh, August 2020. No, August 2012. Yeah.
First attempt?
Yeah.
Okay. What about theory? How many attempts was that? One?
First time. Yeah.
Was it? Nice.
Yeah, I was like a really nerdy child. Like all I've ever wanted to do is drive. Like from really young, like from my entire life, I've only ever wanted to drive. So like, at like 13, 14, I was literally on the theory apps, just like practicing constantly. So as soon as I could take my theory test, I booked it and went and did it. And it was because I'd been doing it for years. I was like that boring child.
I like that though, and it's benefited you in the long run anyway, so screw what anyone else thinks.
Yeah.
Uh,
I really enjoyed like doing the theory test. I don't know why.
I didn't mind the theory test, to be fair. So many people were like, it's awful, it's horrible, but I didn't mind it. It wasn't that easy, but it wasn't horrible either.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so so the next question was going to be, ever had any crashes?
Yeah, loads.
Yeah, I feel like we've covered that now. Okay,
Do you know what? A dog ran out in front of the RS and I hit a dog in that too.
oh no.
The dog was fine, but
Oh,
I feel like I'm cursed, man. Like,
yeah, that's honestly so crazy. The fact that literally everything is crashed.
yeah, I'm a nightmare.
And it's not even your fault.
No, people always laugh at me like, oh, typical girl, but mate, I
Mm.
still got all my no claims, so who's laughing?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so dream realistic car.
Right, well, my dream car is a split screen camper van, and I contemplate selling the RS daily to get one.
What's made you want one of them? Like, is there any reason behind it?
I don't know. So my grandparents lived in Cornwall, and every like school holiday, long weekend, like anytime we were off, we would be down there. So I essentially grew up in Cornwall, and they're
Mm.
everywhere. Like, it's a very surfy place, and I just saw them a lot. But, my entire house is literally decorated with camper van stuff. It's been an obsession for years. Like, I don't know why. I really like them. I think they're so cool.
They are pretty cool, to be fair, and like especially out my way, you don't really see them. Like, you don't see them at all.
No. They're
Okay.
they're just so cool.
Yeah, I like them. So dream supercar or like like win the lottery kind of car.
Porsche GT3 RS in green.
I do love a GT3. They are very nice. Mine, for me, it would have to be Miami blue. I'm obsessed with that color.
Yeah. Yeah, like funnily enough, me and Tom were talking on Saturday about like if we won the lottery, what would we do? And I was like, I would daily a GT3 RS. Like I'd go to Porsche right now, spec one up and have it as my daily. Like
Why not?
yeah.
Okay, so if you had to pick out of every car you have ever seen, ever heard of, anything along those lines, your least favorite car, like what is a car that you look at and you're like, I hate that?
Well, I hate a lot of cars, but I suppose the one that I'm like, it's got to be like a Fiat Multiplier or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
I don't know, like, I yeah, something really ridiculous like that. Fiat.
Or like
What?
Nissan Cube. I'm not a fan of them.
See, I think they're so cool. I literally think about slamming one daily. I think it's so cool.
See, do you know what? Before I started this, like I really hated it. But the more people I speak to, and the more times that I mention that I don't like a cube, everyone kind of starts to convince me otherwise. And now I'm getting to that point where I'm like, do I actually like them
Yeah.
now? Okay, so static or bags?
Pardon?
Static or bags?
I'd probably say static just because I've never had bags. Nothing really against it. I think it's really cool, but for me, I've never had it and I've never wanted it. So
Hmm.
I'd rather be that idiot that can't go over a speed bump, to be fair.
See, that is like the only reason that sways me towards bags now is just the practicability of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it does make sense. I mean, we've slammed the Lupo, like we bought coilovers, and when we're fitting them, I said we got to drop them all the way down. And
Mhm.
when we put it on the floor, it looked ridiculous, but I just thought this is cool.
As long as it looks cool, like who cares about how you get over bumps or anything like that?
Yeah, it literally scrapes over leaves, but I just think, I bought coilovers, so we're doing this, like.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is quite a deep one. Everyone seems to take a big sigh every time I ask about this.
Yeah.
Opinion on the UK car scene?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's, yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky one.
Hmm.
People are horrible whatever scene you're in. Like, if you're into horses, like the horse scene is bad, like the car scene is bad. There's good and bad everywhere. I think you'd get hated whatever you did. Like, I know it seems silly, but I don't really see myself like in the car scene. Like, I don't really, I'm not really in the car scene. Like, I have a car and I post pictures on Instagram, but
Hmm.
I'm not a diehard, like, I don't go to Gravity or Slam. Like, I don't really do car shows. You know what I mean? Like, I go to
Yeah.
Ford for it and that's about it.
Is it? Would
I,
you say there's
it's
any? Would you say there's any reason why you don't go to shows?
because I'm a really anxious person and I really stress out about like what people think about me, and I
Mhm.
don't like being the center of attention, which is really funny when you like look at what I do and my cars and stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't really like it. I don't like people. I'm scared of everything. Like I don't like going to the shop. Like, so going to car shows is just not something I like doing.
I get it. Like even just driving into like your local car meet, I just feel like all eyes are on you. You're like
Yeah,
absolutely stressing. Like I completely get that. Trust me, I really do. It is
yeah.
such a horrible feeling. And so like you say, you feel like everyone's judging you or making an opinion, and it can get really overwhelming.
Yeah, it totally does. Like, I literally stick to the same three shows and that is it. Like, I'd love to do more shows, but I'm so anxious and I don't think people realize.
Yeah. At least that way, if you stick to the same sort of ones, you know, like you can expect what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, the Ford shows are so predictable. It's like not scary. It
Yeah.
is, but it's not.
Yeah, it's not as bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so what got you into cars?
Yeah, I can never answer this question. I literally just came out the womb into cars. Like, I've always been such a tomboy and just into boys' toys, like, forever. Like, as a young child, I don't know, it's just always there. Like, my parents aren't into cars and no one really in my family is into cars. I just came out nowhere.
I say it must have literally just come out of nowhere. To be fair, like I don't really know how I got into cars either. Like you sit there and you think back and you're like, what was the turning point?
Yeah. And the thing was, like, when I got my first car, I was modifying it without realizing that that was everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when I got my first car, I didn't realize that, like, modifying your car was a thing. I just was doing that because that, like, I wanted, like, none of my friends were really into, like, modifying cars either. I never had, like, car friends or anything. And then it wasn't until I got older and, like, saw, like, social media and that, and I was like, oh, like, I've been doing, like, a thing this whole time.
Yeah, you realise you're part of a community without realising it.
Yeah, I literally had no idea because I did childcare at college, so like none of my friends were into cars. Like, they were really girly and like
Mm.
it was just me on my own, and I never realized that car people were a thing. Like,
Yeah. If anything, I guess it's kind of nice. Like, this is the one advantage I think of the car scene, is that there is a whole community and everyone has their own thing, and you can just relate to people. Because I'm the same. Like, I don't
yeah,
really have many, especially like locally to me. I don't have pretty much any female friends that are into cars, and it's just
yeah,
unheard of. Everyone else is doing their other stuff and they're adulting, and I'm here like spending all this money on a piece of metal. But whatever makes you happy.
yeah. That's literally it.
Yeah. So out of all the cars that you've owned, what is your favourite?
I had a Mark 6 Fiesta, and I desperately, desperately want one again.
I don't know. Sorry, go
Yeah.
on.
I don't know what I was going to say.
I don't know if you see the In the Bucket Seat with Kate, but she also said that she would have a Mark 6 Fiesta again. It seems to be a thing, like everyone just loves them.
Yeah, so that one got written off. It was the one that got it was rear-ended. I was rear-ended, and when they wrote it off, I was like, yeah, okay, and I just went out and I got another Fiesta, like I just upgraded,
Mm-hmm.
and I literally hated it. I got a Mark 7.5 Fiesta,
Mm-hmm.
and I literally like there was a 2-week window where you could like return the car, and I literally was like, I need to return this car. I hate it. I want a Mark 6. And I didn't return the car. I was like, no, you're being an idiot. It's a car. Like, just get over it.
Mm.
And like the entire time I've not had a Mark 6 Fiesta. I literally hate it. But I feel like there's a way around this because with my new job now, I can get a van. So I think I'm going to get a Mark 6 Fiesta van.
Yeah, that would work. Best of both worlds.
Yes, because then I would drive it like all of the time.
Yeah, and you could justify it as being practical.
Yeah.
So what is it you prefer in the Mark 6 over the Mark 7?
I don't know. The Mark 7 felt more like, well, it's all like techy and cool and stuff, but I think the Mark 6 looked better modified. I think the Mark 7 doesn't have the same kind of, I don't know. Like, yeah, they look good when you modify them, but I think the Mark 6 is just, it's got something about it. It just looks better.
Yeah, I get it. It's just like it's kind of crazy. Like the shape changed completely. It wasn't even like a small change, so it's like a massive change. But I don't think I've ever heard of the Mark 7 Fiesta being called cool and techie.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you see, because all of my cars that I've had are like been old school cars. So the Mark 7, inside it's got like Bluetooth and all this cool stuff. Like none of my cars have had that. Like.
Yeah, I get it. It makes sense. So out of all of them, the least favorite car you've owned?
Probably the Peugeot 106. But I mean, it was cool. I don't think I've actually hated any car I've had. I liked the Peugeot is probably my least favorite, but actually it was really cool to drive because it was very go-karty, if you know what I mean.
I'm surprised you didn't say the Fiesta.
Yeah. No, I don't know. The thing is, this is the problem. I genuinely love cars. Like I can find the good in all of them. Like
yeah.
Yeah. We even had at one point we had a 207cc Peugeot convertible thing. We got it. This woman, she was a very old lady. She was selling it for very cheap. The roof didn't come down. But me and Tom were like, we have to have this because of that Top Gear episode where they crash the Peugeots and they're like driving up the curbs and that. It was the best car. It was a terrible car. Don't get me wrong. The car was terrible. but it
Yeah.
was such fun.
Yeah, it's the fun that you have with it. It's what like it is what it is. Like a car is what you make it.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter what car it is, as long as you can have fun with it and you know you can enjoy it, then why not?
Yeah. I don't think I've actually ever hated a car I've owned. Like I've disliked them and I thought, oh, but I've not been like, I hate you.
Like no,
The
not
thing is,
driving
like,
it.
yeah, like the Mark 7 Fiesta was cool because I got it, I got a bluefin on it, so I like remapped it and it was fun then, and you know, it was a good car. I did like it, apart from the engine did blow up and the gearbox shredded itself, like, but didn't hate it.
As long as you had fun with it, then it doesn't matter. Okay, so if you had to pick between performance or visual modifications, which would you choose?
Probably visual because I ride motorbikes and I've said it from day one that no car will ever compare to the performance of a motorbike. So
Okay.
I'd rather spec my car up to look good because as much as cars are fun and cool, the motorbike will always win.
That was going to be my next question, to be fair. It's going to be cars or motorbikes, but I'm guessing it's the bikes.
Yeah, always, always. Bike will always win. Like people have asked me this question for years, and I always say motorbike. Like it's just a different thing. Like you just cannot compare the two. Like obviously cars are cool and fun, but motorbikes are funner.
Do you think it's down to the adrenaline side of it?
Yeah, I think so. And you can just do more. Like you know, you can filter and overtake far more, and you know, lean, go around corners. It's you're so much more connected. Like on a bike, if you're not paying attention, you'll just die. Like that's how it is. You don't really get
Mm,
that in a car.
yeah. A car,
Yeah.
you just kind of sit there. Like I often find myself driving home from the gym, and I'm sat there, and I get home, and I'm like, I don't remember driving home. Like it just
Yeah.
becomes so. What's the word I'm trying to think of? You know what I mean? I can't think of the word. But you just get so used to it, and
Yeah.
then I would love to try like riding a motorbike. I just feel like I'd crash it. It's too scary.
Yeah. They are scary, but I think that's what makes it fun. And I tell people all the time because I see people getting motorbikes just because it's like the next thing to do.
Hmm.
But I think if you actually aren't in it, like if it's not something you actually truly want, it will never work out. Because
Mm.
you have to understand, like on a bike, you could die any second. Like you could, do you know what I mean? Like you could fall off, you could get knocked off by a car. Like this, you have to truly want that. And I
Mm.
think, yeah, if you don't really want it, you won't like it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. So, have you ever, in terms of the question earlier, have you ever crashed a motorbike or fell off a motorbike or had any issues?
Yeah, I crashed my bike 3 months after I bought it. I bought a brand new bike out the showroom and I crashed it chasing my boyfriend down a really notorious bit of road.
Oh
There's a
no.
there's a road around where I live called Purbright Bends, and it's quite well known for being a very dangerous road.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very, very bendy, like lots of like hairpin type things, and it's like all lined with trees. So if you crash, you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
And I was chasing my boyfriend on his bike, um, and yeah, I just crashed.
Was it bad?
Well, I mean, there were cars on the road, and this woman, when I crashed, she literally leapt out of her car and was screaming and crying at me, and I was like, I'm fine, it's okay. And I picked my bike up, and it was trashed,
Mm-hmm.
but I did ride it. I just literally got back on it and rode it.
Was it? Did it have to be written off, or was it repairable?
No, so it's yeah, it's the same bike I've got now. It was actually okay because I say luckily I had a massive stock exhaust on it, and when you get a bike from the showroom, they come with ridiculously massive exhaust. And because the exhaust was so big and it went down that side, the exhaust saved a lot of the bike. So there's a few scratches on my fairing and stuff, and I snapped the levers and that, but other than that, it was fine.
So it could have been a lot worse for you and for the bike,
Yeah, 100% it could have been. And
but it didn't put
the
you
thing
off.
is, no, like that's the thing because I just want it so bad. Like what happened was I was chasing Tom, and on a motorbike you get this thing called target fixation where like you'll just start staring at something and then like you can't snap out of it and you'll just like ride towards it. It happens quite
Mm-hmm.
often. And I was literally, what happened was I was coming around this corner and I just saw a lamppost, and I literally just started fixating on the lamppost. And because I'd only been riding 3 months, and it was my first big bike, and I last second I was like, what the hell are you doing? And I literally like went like that to flick away from the lamppost, and I just went down.
You must have been so gutted.
Yeah, yeah, it was a bit going, but I think everybody crashes their bike, and if they say they haven't, they're obviously not riding it right.
Okay, so depends if it applies to you, because obviously you said you don't really class yourself in the car scene, but in the car scene / on Instagram, social media, that kind of stuff, do you find it's difficult to be a woman in the car scene?
Yes, but also no, because although I am quite clearly a girl, I have always seen myself as very tomboy and very
Mhm.
laddie.
Yeah.
So I think because I don't want to like sound weird, but like, you know, I won't often wear like dresses and like this. I done this makeup, you know, for you. Do you know what I mean? Like
Oh, thanks.
usually I just bomb around with a bun in my head, like I really don't care, and I feel like that has made it very easier for me, like because I kind of I don't know, I'm just me, like, but
Mhm.
yeah, like I still do get the odd comment like, oh, just posing next to your boyfriend's car and that, but I think just being me, and people are like, oh, actually she's quite laddie, like it made it easier, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Like in terms of like when you post photos of like your cars and then you and your cars, do you find that one gets more interaction than the other?
Yeah, but I think that's just because this is the boring marketing Georgie coming out now, but people follow you for you. So like
Mhm.
of course if you're in the picture, they're gonna interact more because that's that like anyone could have my car. You know,
Mhm.
that so many people do have my car, but at the end of the day people follow me. So when I'm in the pictures, yes, I do get more engagement, but it's because people like seeing me.
Yeah, that's fair. So one thing I did notice as
Yeah.
well when I was looking through your profile earlier, you've turned off your likes. Now I haven't seen many people that have done that yet, especially in the car scene. Is there a reason
Yeah.
behind that, or like is there a story behind it, or you don't have to
Now
answer
this
this
is a
if you
very
don't
good
want to?
question. No, this is a very good question. So and very very much recently people idolize me, and I don't really know why, because I have to try and say I'm literally just like you, like
Mm-hmm.
I never like went out of my way to get followers, like it just happened naturally,
Mm-hmm.
and people because of that look at me differently, like they think I'm very special, and I am not. I'm just Georgie. I eat food and I go to the toilet just like everybody else in the world.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not special. And I think when people look at my profile, like, they get like sucked up by, oh, she's got 2,000 likes on this post, she's got
Mm-hmm.
800 likes on that post. Like, and it doesn't matter. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
I want to post things because I want to post them, and I don't want people to be sucked up by vanity metrics, because that's exactly what they are at the end of the day. Like, I would post a picture whether it got 1 like or whether it got a million likes. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter to me. And if I could turn off like follow count too, I literally would do that, because I don't really care about it. I don't think it matters, and I think it does cause massive problems. Like people get so caught up with likes and followers, like they need to realize that I still go to work and earn a living. Like
Yeah.
having followers doesn't matter. Having
Mm-hmm.
likes doesn't matter. It's not paying my bills. Like
Yeah. And it makes complete sense. I definitely agree in the sense that people get really caught up by likes and followers and all of that. Like you often see like celebrities like post photos, and if they don't get enough likes or enough interaction, it ends up getting deleted. Like you just
yeah,
kind of want to post stuff for you, but at the
and that's
same time,
exactly it. Like it shouldn't matter.
yeah, and at the same time, like it is so easy to get caught up in. Like there's been times when I've gone out and I've taken photos of my car and I've posted them, and they haven't done as well as recent posts, and it is so easily to get sucked up by that, and you end up looking at it
Yeah,
and in your head you're like, what have I done wrong? Like what is wrong with this? Like why has it gone different? But I've kind of tried to steer away from that, I think, recently, because you just get so caught up in it and it could just put you in such a bad place mentally.
yeah, and that's it. Like when I first was like getting likes and stuff, if a post didn't do well, I would be exactly like that. But then over time, I really had to like drill it into my head that whether this post got 10,000 likes or one like, my day is not going to change, so it does not matter.
You've just got to do it for you rather than for anyone else.
Yeah. Like people couldn't care less what I do. Like I have, like at the end of the day, they don't care. I have to. That's what you got to remember.
Yeah, exactly.
In the nicest way. Do you know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, you know, you've got to do you. Like, screw what anyone else thinks.
Yeah.
Okay, so best car related memory or bike in your case, car or bike.
Oh, I don't know. Probably memory. I don't know. Probably meeting Hannah, as in Cheeky RS.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had some really, really, really good memories with her because of our cars and through our cars.
Mhm.
So yeah, maybe her, and maybe when Mark took me out in his Cosy and I literally screamed and cried and I hated every second of it, but it's like core memory unlocked. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think this is another thing with the car scene as well. Like, I'm guessing you have as well, but I've made so many friends through the car scene, like genuine friends as well.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to have, like, especially like you say, being the female side of it, where you don't often find many people that are females that have nice cars. Do you know what I mean? So it's nice to be able to have those memories with those kind of people.
Yeah, so good. Like when I'm old and dying in my bed, then I can just think back of all the fun times I had.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so in terms of cars, new or old? I feel like I know what you're gonna say.
Right. Well, I don't know here. So I very much love tech and I love comfort, and therefore I always said I wanted new cars.
Mm-hmm.
However, when I actually started driving and realized that new cars drive terribly and everything's electric and it drives itself for you essentially, I don't like
Mm-hmm.
it. So I like old school. Old school is cool. I mean, new stuff is cool too, but I
There's
think
pros and
old
cons
school.
to each.
Yeah.
What do you think to the electric handbrake? So you just like that instead of like that.
Yeah, I think that I don't know. My dad had one in his car, and it was really cool because like you put the handbrake on, but then to drive off you just drive. So it's cool, but you can't do skids and drifts with it, can you?
Yeah, exactly. It kind of takes, like, some of the tech's really cool, but at the same time, some of the tech just takes the fun out of it.
Yeah,
I say
yeah,
that. See, I would pick new every time, but then again, like in the Mustang, for example, I've got my cooling seats. So on a hot day, I've got cold air coming through my seats, so I couldn't
yeah.
not have that now. Like, do you know what I mean?
And that's exactly what I love. I love creature comfort, and I love tech. I've said it a million times. I love, like the new Mercedes, like where they got like the light bar all the way around, and you can change all the colors in there.
Mm.
That is so cool, and I would love that. If I could put that in an old car, winning, like I
Yeah,
would do that.
yeah. See, it seems like you like the uniqueness more of the older cars, but the tech in the new cars.
Yeah, pretty much. I think the old school stuff drives properly and looks cool, but I want to feel comfortable and cozy in my car.
You just want to like smush the two together.
Yeah.
Okay, so final question, kind of a fun kind of question. What is your go-to driving music?
Probably like rock.
Okay.
Like when I drive, I like kind of screaming at the top of my lungs, just feeling like the world hates me. I really enjoy that.
It's like, especially when you go on higher speeds as well, like, and you have the music blaring and you just get proper into it.
Yeah. And like the RS has got like a sub in it and like secret speaker. So although it looks standard, it's very much not. So when you play like hardcore rock in the RS, it's like it's cool. Like it's all,
Just
just
feel
feels
good.
aggressive in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that covers everything my side. So in terms of everyone that is still here, if anyone has any questions, pop it in the Q&A box at the bottom. and we'll finish on a couple of questions. And yeah, that'll cover everything, I think. You've done really well, considering you said you was really nervous.
I know, I am really nervous.
It's
I've been twiddling with my fingers the whole time.
I get like that though. I sit here and I'm just like just playing with my fingers. It's just like I get it. It's pressure, you know, but it's more for fun, and it's more just something that hasn't been done yet, I guess. So I just felt like I wanted to do something.
Should. It's a great idea. I really like the idea, and I have been following along like all of them so far. So my cat's attacking my foot. I'm so sorry.
Oh, my cats are terrible for that. You sit there and you just wiggle your toe, and they're like on it.
Yes, that's what just happened.
So we've got who's your favourite car YouTuber?
Oh, it's got to be my boy Adam C.
Do you watch anyone else or just him?
You know, I do. I watch a lot of YouTube, but the only person I religiously watch is Adam. I'll be honest. Like, I don't really follow anyone very religiously, but mainly because I don't really have time. Like, I work a lot of the time.
Yeah, it makes sense. Why did you throw butter at us?
Because I was in Mario Kart.
Okay, I feel like there's a story.
Yeah, no. I saw my friend and I threw butter at her because I was hoping it would be like, you know, in Mario Kart when you throw a banana and then they like spin away. That's the vibe I was going for.
I love it. How do you feel the car scene could support women more?
Well, I mean, the obvious one is don't be immediately horrible to them. Like, for me, like if I post something on TikTok about me like building something with the Lupo, the comments will immediately be like, you should have done it like this, like you've done it wrong, like you don't know what you're doing. Whereas if the comments were more like, great effort, but next time if you do it like this, it will help you because that would be great. Because when a boy posts, and no offense, but when a male posts something, the comments are very different. Like they're not like that. Even if the boy is doing it very wrong, the comments won't be so aggressive towards them.
Yeah, you just tend to find that people think they know better just because you're a woman.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would completely agree in that sense. You just need to be more open, I guess is the easiest way to put it.
Yeah, like criticism is fine, but if there's no help within that criticism, then what's the point? Like if you're just attacking me because I'm a girl, which happens a lot, what's the point?
Yeah, if you're gonna say something, then at least be respectful and helpful.
Yeah.
What's the cost associated with a custom wrap as opposed to an off-the-shelf wrap? I have a half and half wrap, but always wanted a fade transition. I'm quite interested in this answer, actually.
Yeah, so custom wraps are very, very expensive for a number of reasons. A, because you have to have them custom printed, and obviously there's costs associated with that. But also you have to get the design team to like design it to make it like you can't just give them any picture and say put this on a wrap because it won't work. Like they have to make sure the pixels are right and all this. So it's very expensive. So with the RS, I paid $2,500 to get that wrapped.
That's not as much as I thought it was going to be, actually.
Well, yeah, I mean it's a very simple car and it's fairly small. Like if you're getting something bigger, it'd be more. And in terms of like a just a off the shelf color wrap, it was a lot more. I think I was quoted like £1,700 for just a plain color.
Okay.
Or around about that. But I think custom wraps are cool. So if you really want it, you should do it.
Yeah, but it's just different, and it does completely make you stand out. So in terms of a design process, actually, I'm like really curious now. How long did it take from start to finish, do you think?
Yeah, so my wrap was a very long process, and it was also very difficult to find somebody who could do the printing because not every wrap place can do custom prints. So a lot of the work was finding somebody who could do it. And then once I had done it, like I had to go in for like they would print off like colors, and because there's like when you're doing custom print, you can have literally anything.
Yeah.
So it was like first of all like designing it, like literally there was so many templates I got sent of paint splattered cars, and I hated most of them. It just didn't look right. And then I had to go in like 4 or 5 times to like test out paint colors, and yeah, it was a very long process. But once it was all done, it was very much printed and wrapped like normal.
I guess the hardest thing is you have a vision in your head, but you have to try and explain that of what you want, and it doesn't always
Yeah.
relay in the same way that you see it in your head. So I get it.
Yeah, so like I have been thinking of a new wrap, and it's very much Hannah's fault, as in Cheeky RS. It's entirely her fault. But we have come up with a new wrap idea, and then I added my points on the new wrap, and then she was like, "That sounds ridiculous," and I was like, "No, it sounds really good in my head. Like I can see it," and I'm like, "Yes." But when I've told a few people about it, and they're like, and I'm like, "No, it's good. Like in my head, I can see it."
It's just trying to get everyone else to realize how good it looks in your head.
Yeah.
I think that is all of the questions. I will give it one more minute. If anyone wants to ask any more questions, shoot them now. If not, we will finish it off there. Just make sure I haven't missed any. I don't think I have. I feel like you've kind of sold me on this custom wrap idea now as well. I'm sat here, I'm like, what could I do?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Possibilities are literally endless. You could have whatever you wanted.
Mm.
And that's the thing, right? It's very, at the minute how there's a lot of controversy with like, oh, I got my car wrapped this color and now somebody else has done it, or like if it's custom, nobody else in the entire world is going to have it.
Yeah, it is literally one of a kind.
Yeah.
When will the Loophole build be completed?
Well, it will probably not be fully completed for a very long time because we're doing ridiculous stuff to it. But in terms of turning the key and being able to drive there, we were hoping it would be started by the end of the month. But like, the wide bodying is going to take time, and then it's going to be completely custom. Like every inch of that car is going to be unique. So the build won't be finished for a really long time. But I'll be driving it very, very soon.
I think it kind of gets to the point. It's just like, when will it ever be done? Like, will it ever be done, or is it just continuous? Like, when do you stop?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, because of issues with the RS, like the Lupo should have had more money put into it than it has. So we are delayed in that sense, and it is frustrating because we were hoping it would have been well driven by now. But yeah, I feel the every time I think of something new, I'm like, this build is never going to be finished because I just want everything.
Yeah.
And the thing is with me, like when I think about something, it will happen. I'm very determined like that. So yeah.
But it's made it worth it in the end. Like, it does look sick.
Yeah.
Someone said, why would you drive a Ford? Why not?
Because I'd rather push my Ford than drive a Corsa.
Literally cannot argue with that one. Completely agree. What got you into the car scene? We've pretty much covered that as well. Okay, so I think that covers everything. Just double checking. Yeah, that covers everything. Okay, so thank you guys to everyone who has joined in, participated, asked some questions. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Make sure to go follow Georgie. Her details are at the bottom of the screen, just below her. It should be hopefully thinned. But yeah, thank you so much for coming in, answering my questions, and taking some time out of your day to be part of this.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's good. It's a good idea, this whole thing. I like it.
Thank you. But yeah, so this will be uploaded to YouTube if you haven't missed, or if you've missed some of it already. I'll send you the link when I upload it as well. And yeah, thank you guys for joining in.
How exciting. Bye, gang.
Bye, gang. See ya.
Bye.